You did everything right. You showed up, you gave, you sacrificed. So why then is your relationship still leaving you feeling disappointed again and again? What if I told you it's not your partner, it's not your kids, it's not even the relationship itself, but something that you were never really taught about true love? Today, I'm going to break down 3 things almost all of us are mistaking for real love. And stay with me till the end, because the third one is the least talked about, but might be the one which impacts you the most. Let me tell you something very gently, but honestly. Most of us are not really aware of what true love is all about. Yes, we built our marriages around it. We are raising our children believing it. We're also measuring our own self-worth based on how much of it we receive. But that feeling of love that we often talk about is not really love, it's attachment. And it's not wrong for you to not know the difference, because none of us were really taught about it. This mistake most of us make for love is attachment. Now here is a question I want you to sit with honestly. When you got married, or when you had children, or when you built that closest friendship, were you silently thinking, what can I give here? Or were your thoughts more around, even unconsciously, what am I going to get out of this? Most of us get into marriages thinking the other person will somehow make us complete. We even have children thinking that they'll grow up, love us, and we'll feel whole as a family. Now that feeling that we're referring to is not love, it's attachment. Because attachment silently carries this question, what's in it for me? It's all about my happiness that I'm seeking in the relationship. This is why relationships change. Because somewhere along the way, circumstances change, people change, and then we say we fell out of love. But what we are really referring to is we fell out of attachment. Because now we are quietly saying, the other person has stopped giving me what I have quietly expected. And that's not love, that's attachment, because you don't fall out of love, you can only fall out of attachment. The second thing that we mistake love for is to keep a score. Now here's the second trap. A lot of us who are successful in this world know that we have to measure our output against our input. And we have to maximize the output for the input to be successful in this world. But somewhere along the way, we bring the same mindset into our relationships. We start keeping a score. We start saying, I did this for you. I gave up this for you. I did this sacrifice for you, but you didn't do that for me. And when we start keeping a score like that, we are mistaking our relationship to become a transaction. We expect what we give, we must receive in equal amounts, and the transaction has to be balanced. And when that falls out of balance, we become heartbroken. But that's not real love. But most of us do that. I've done that too. Now here's the third thing that we mistake for love. This is something nobody talks about. The silent belief that another person is meant to fill what's missing inside of us. This is why it's difficult to see, because all of us are carrying a void inside of us, of all the unfulfilled desires, the unmet needs, the quiet emptiness that we somehow hope that someone will come and fill. So we get into marriages, we build beautiful homes, we take beautiful family photographs, yet we feel that ache inside, like something is missing. And that's because we are expecting all the people in our life are going to fill that void. And that's the problem. These people that you love, your husband, your kids, also carry that same void inside of them. And they are getting into the relationship with you, expecting that you are going to fill that void for them, just as you are expecting they are going to fill that void for you. And 2 empty cups cannot fill each other, no matter how hard they try. So if true love is not an attachment, it's not keeping score, it's not something another person can come and complete for you, then what is true love? True love is a verb. It's not a feeling that comes and goes. It's not a reward that you get for good behavior. True love is an action. It's a choice that you make again and again, regardless of how the other person behaves. Real love asks a different question. Not what can I get from the other person, but how can I serve for this person's happiness? Regardless of whether that person notices it or not, regardless of that person thanking you for it or not, and regardless of that person loving you back in the same way. That's real love. The one that has no strings attached, no expectations. So real love, the kind that doesn't disappear when somebody disappoints us, starts with commitment, with responsibility. It has an element of acceptance, of forgiveness, and sacrifice. And now I know what you're thinking. This seems too difficult. If I'm carrying a void and the other person is carrying a void, then how am I going to find this true love? But I promise you, there is an answer for this. There is one relationship that isn't running empty. There is one source that isn't asking anything from you. That's your relationship with the divine. Because the divine is not running low on anything. In fact, the divine is full of love without limits, without conditions. And when you strengthen your relationship with the divine and let that love fill that void inside you, something remarkable happens. Now you get into relationships of this world, not expecting them to fill you up because you are already full. And that's how you're able to give selfless love in the relationships, because now you're coming into the relationships with your heart already full. Most of us get into a relationship with the divine asking the same questions. God, give me this, or God, fix this problem for me. And that's all right because that's where we begin. But as we deepen this relationship, our question slowly changes. It's not about asking God to have more, but rather asking God, how can I serve you? How can I be of use to the divine? And through that, to everyone around me. And that is real emotional resilience. Not because life has stopped being hard, it's because you are no longer expecting the world to complete you. You are already complete. So now that you know what real love is all about, not the feeling, but an action and a choice that you make again and again, I want to know what your honest thoughts are. Do you think that practicing real love in this world is way too difficult? Or do you think with the right mindset and the connection with the divine, you can get to experience that for yourself? Let me know in the comments below and I'll read all of them. If this spoke to you, do hit the subscribe and come join me in this Thrive From Within journey, where every week we'll unravel a little bit more about what real love, real peace, and lasting fulfillment is all about by mastering our mind and applying practical spiritual wisdom. This is an invitation for you to come home to yourself.